Episode 214 Above Ground Podcast, Rebuilding the Mountain with Yogi Marc Salvi.
Disclaimer. The hosts of this podcast, Timothy Patrick and Will Foley, are by no means medical professionals. However, having lived experience with mental illness themselves, they have gained useful perspectives on common mental health issues that some of us struggle to overcome on a daily basis. By sharing their stories, they hope to create connection. By creating connection, they hope to help you find your purpose. And through purpose, we can all begin to build the foundation for positive mental health. This is Above Ground Podcast.
Coming at you live with real conversations about mental health from the peer-spective, it's time for Above Ground Podcast. Now your hosts, TPP and Will Foley.
But we are here with Marc today. Marc is a yogi and he's like a handstand master. I've watched his videos on Instagram, and I'm like, this dude's insane. The way he like holds himself up in these different positions. I've known him kind of, from way back in the day, and I just recently came across him, and I always get intrigued when I see people, especially men, kind of gravitating towards this the wellness side of things and doing some positive things for them and other people. So I figured I'd reach out to him, and here he is. So thanks for showing up, Marc.
Sweet. Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate the offer. It's awesome running into you guys again. And the same thing, dude, like fucking seeing a couple fellas trying to get the shit together mentally and help other people. You know what I mean? It's something I've been into and doing for years, and trying to convince other dudes to get into it, without trying to be that, pressuring people, just like, yo, it's good, feels good, helps the mind. Let's get after it,
Helps.
So how did
man.
Marc, why don't we just jump right in, man? How did this all start for you? Like, where did this stem from?
So actually, when I first started doing it, I got into it, I was always active. Like I'm that personality that I was like, go. If I'm sitting down, I'm like too much. You know what I mean? I can't sit. I got other things I can do. I can do this and do that. With that said, from like, I was a laborer forever, man. Like when I was young in high school, one of my good buddies, his parents owned a roofing company. So I started that at like 15, 16. And, so from that and working out and all that stuff, you start to get sore, you start hurting, shows, going to hardcore shows, getting beat up, fights, trouble, he's hurting. So, fast forward a couple of years, later, I knew about it, did a little bit here and there, but like I bought those P90X DVDs, those first home workout things, man. And they had a fucking yoga video at the end that was like a recovery thing, all dudes in sneakers and gym workout attire, which is not the thing. But that's what got me. I mean, that I started like, wow, this is way better than even what I was doing, which was basically just stretching before, you know what I mean? And then, started to realize physically how much it helped me from doing that. And then real quickly after that, I got into just like, I would just look on like on demand or anything online, when TV used to have those on demands on fucking Spectrum or Time Warner or whatever it was then. So just started doing that, and then slowly started getting more and more into it. Right. And then, physically, I'm feeling much better. I got more balance, my posture is better. My back isn't hurting as much, or my neck and shoulders aren't all jacked up. Yeah. I mean, that's how it all started. And then I was kind of, I don't know if you want me to go into the whole aspect of it and everything.
Well, we're
practicing for like 12 years, but
yeah, we're always interested.
Well,
we're always interested in hearing the backstory. I'm
cool.
wondering where and you can kind of piggyback it on how your mental health changed from the start till now also, because I'm sure that's got to be part of the journey at some point.
Oh my God, huge. And that's it for me, the mental aspect of it without a doubt. So started there just physically, just to help me not hurt as much. Played with it for a while, pretty religiously, then would stop or would be pretty sporadic with it for a while. So over a few years, it was kind of a back and forth kind of thing. Say after like 2 years of doing it, enter house, marriage, twins, you know what I mean? And then I was like, mind blowing, still trying to do everything, handle everything. You know, was that type. I'm better at it now, but still am like, I don't ask for help. I do it. I got it. Take it all on. And then just like, bleh, be like spent from it. So that stuff, you know, was tough. It gets harder to talk about. So then for a little bit, right, I was doing that, built a house when I had little kids, and was only, God, I thought I was on top, man. It was my dream. I was there. You know, you could taste it. So I wanted a family, built a house, nice property. I was out in like Brunswick near like heading towards like Grafton. It was great. A few months after being to the house, man, it just downhill. Wife wanted out. Although it wasn't a horrible, you know, thing, it was stressful due to younger kind of sort of parents, careers, kids, just built a house, trying to keep up with the Joneses. And then I was still into yoga, but that's when I was in and out of it because I was just too busy. That collapsed fucking fast. And that like crushed me. Then I was falling back to the old ways, you know, going out with friends, hitting the bar, drinking, just doing, you know what I mean, the wrong stuff. So I dove right back into that hard, man. Yoga, meditation, breath work. I stayed in the house for like a year and change, just trying not to like lose my shirt on it. You know what I mean? Just built a house. Everybody knows. You know what I mean? You're trying to get taken advantage of left and right by realtors and people. So that was tough, man. I like the basement was my jam. Basement, yoga mat, cranking metal, dude, just flowing, moving. You know what I mean? I would just put something on the screen, you know what I mean? And just mute it because I didn't care what anybody had to say, and just watching them and just going, and slowly got my own thing going. So fast forward again, I finally got out of there, had to go into a little shitty little apartment. Me, dude, I had to, you know, the mother's great. Their mom's great. We get along great. Best friends now, which was a huge part that helped me do that. But man, I had to go, and from the get-go, it was a 50-50 split with the kids. My kids were 3 twins, a boy and a girl. And it was me and them. And again, still not one asking for help. So how do you figure out how to raise 3-year-old twins on your own when you really don't even want to ask for help?
That's scary.
Yeah, it is scary, man.
So yeah, and sometimes I'm thankful that they were so young.
Do you think that your new lifestyle, I'll say new, but I know you've been in it a while. Do you think that the yoga and the breath work and stuff has helped you kind of get where you are and maintain that and like get you through what you went through?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It was everything, dude, without a doubt. And because like I said, I didn't ask for help, right? Like why you guys are doing what you do, right? For the most part, like dudes aren't asking for it. Right. We're not asking for help. You know, I'll talk to some people. I would talk to my family, you know, my brother, some people, but I wanted to go deep within myself and figure it out, you know, try to figure it out. So the yoga, right? Yoga in general, like when everybody just thinks of yoga, they're thinking of someone, you know, probably thinking of like a skinny, pretty chick on a yoga mat, you know, doing some movements and flowing around and stuff, which it's so much more than that. You know, that's just the asana side, right? Which is the practice, the movement, the flowing. But just the mindset, the mindfulness, being able to like reel it in, you know what I mean? Like, okay, now I'm getting crazy. I can't slow my mind down. Being able to like just bring that back in via the breath or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like after a while of doing it so much and doing that yoga practice so much, you know, the movement, like so much different than like bench pressing and, you know, hitting the weights. Yes, physically it's challenging. at times, depending on what it is you're doing, but it makes you be in the moment. You know, it almost kind of forces you to be in that moment because you got to pay attention, you know, right? Where's my foot going? Where's my arm going? What do I have to turn on physically or turn off to make this more comfortable? The more you put yourself in those situations where you have to figure out physically and mentally how to make yourself more comfortable and calm, it just started translating, you know, to life, you know, like, fuck, this sucks. What am I going to do about it? You know, let me reel it in and you know what I mean? Really think about it. Like Will, like you said, you know what I mean? With the kids, like it's their world, you know, and mine, how I'm going to, like, they're not worried about what I'm dealing with. You know, it's like, man, it's tough sometimes.
Yeah,
I don't want to get too,
no, dude.
about
It makes it hard, man. And like, I think vulnerability gets a tough rap because
Totally.
I keep hearing all this shit about how like masculine men don't exist anymore because we're all
fuck
showing
that.
our
Yeah, we
feelings.
do.
But it's like, dude, fuck that, dude. I think it takes some fucking stones to be able to say
Hell
this
yeah.
shit and still be able to fucking be a man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still like, it's like, again,
There's no doubt vulnerability is strength. There's no doubt in my mind,
man. Yeah, I say it a lot of time in like my classes and stuff too, but like, you know, like you just said, and remind me, like the, you know, masculinity isn't there. It's toxic, right? Fuck that shit. You know, like
Exactly.
masculine men are vulnerable. They love their kids, they love their friends, they love their family. They're open about stuff. They admit things. You know, it's like masculinity to me doesn't mean I'm gonna kick your ass. You know what I mean? Like, there's always someone that's going to beat somebody up if you're talking in that manner. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, masculine men open doors for women and just do the right thing, man. Like, that's it to me, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think the actual like term masculine has somehow got redefined somewhere along the lines, and it's just like you said, it just, people think that it means aggressive and this and that, and it's like, no, it can mean opening a door for somebody and like, hey, grabbing your friend and saying, hey man, like, we got this together, I got your back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah, you need someone
I don't
to
know where
talk
it was
to.
lost.
Let's talk. Right, without a doubt, because I've been divorced and I get along with my ex, and you know, there was a time when all that kind of shit, you know, I lost the house. I didn't lose the house, I sold it, but you know, everybody was like, there's no way you're getting another house. Your credit's ruined, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm in another house. You know what I mean? Like, I did my thing. So I started having dudes reaching out to me years ago, man, it started. And I was kind of, how do I navigate this? Like, friends, relatives of friends, you know, people would just reach out to me and want to talk about it. Guys. And I'm like, why does everybody want to talk to me, man? I don't know what I'm doing. You know,
because you did it though, you know,
I know, man.
But that's good.
But that's how it starts, man. That's
awesome.
How you showed. See, that's the thing. Like, that's why we try not to be preachy about this shit, because again, like the stuff that we do only works for us. Totally. And it's hard because again, totally. We talk about spreading hope, man. That's what we talk about. Yeah. So you're always trying to come from the strengths-based part of it. And obviously you were pretty, like, did you always, when you were a kid growing up, did your growing up and having older brothers and growing up in that scene, like that hardcore scene, really shape your did that really shape your toughness? Or was it like, is it that us being all in that age range of being home, left to our own devices, raised by the television, you know, parents who are never home or not there or checked out, all that stuff, man.
Yeah, totally. So that my upbringing, my childhood, my dad wasn't around, you know, was in and out. That was real rocky. So that's where it all started. Like, it was my mother, 3 kids, trying to navigate life doing that, right? And it was funny. I just told this stranger this fucking story yesterday. I went to, you know, this bar restaurant thing down the street that I love, down near me. And my last minute, you know, I got my kids the weekend. Last minute, they wanted to go to a sleepover at their friends. You know, I got a son and a daughter, and they were going to sleep over their buddies. We all do Taekwondo together. This kid does too, and his mother, you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. You guys want to go there? Like, I already did a million things, you know, throughout the last couple of days with them, just like Taekwondo, Girl Scouts. My daughter did this 5K thing, and then like taught a yoga class that brought the kids to a birthday party. And then I was like, oh, you want to sleep over somewhere? Yeah, sweet. So I go down, and I know the bartender well, and I'm like, I just want wings and a beer, dude. And there's this like older dude next to me, and just starts asking me, you know, about tattoos, you know, of course, right? And I was just like, here we go again. I'm like, yeah, man, I got them. Yeah, they hurt, you know. But the dude wound up being super cool. And he was like, and this is what I love. And it kind of goes into like, I never would have done this before and talked to some stranger about anything. I don't even know how the hell we got to this topic. But he's like a orchestra, whatever you conductor. You know what I mean? And
that is so awesome, man.
Yeah, and how he got like a half sleeve at 59.
No shit. Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
So he's showing me, and he's talking, and then he just, I don't even know how it came up. And you're probably like, where the hell's he going to start? But
no, it's all good. I love this.
But he, so we're talking, and then it somehow came into like childhood and like how family like views it. Like, I think because he said something about like, he's still, one of his aunts is like super old and like looks at him with a side eye every time, you know, and he's 59 and the dude's got a half sleeve of like some cool, like, you know, normal stuff. But he asked me something. So my upbringing, my mother's side, Catholic, holy rollers, you know, not like crazy, but church every Sunday, religion, all that stuff. Now my father's side, long hair, Harley, bars, fighting, trouble. You know, like I grew up, dude, my brother and my sister, everybody, like it's all we heard. Teachers, you know, he went to Troy High. Oh, your dad so-and-so. Oh, all he ever did was fight. We would meet friends and be like, oh, we got these friends. Then we would meet our friends' parents, and they'd be like, your dad jumped me, or he sucker punched me, or him and his brothers did this and that. And it's like, oh, Christ. Circling back around, like that was my upbringing, you know what I mean? And that had me like, I want to be, you know, nice and respectful and all that shit, but I'm mad, you know what I mean? I'm mad as hell, you know? So that's when I got into that hardcore scene. I mean, then being like, you know, relatives in the scene, you know what I mean? And just friends and South Troy. I mean, what are you going to do, dude? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I lived up a hill a little bit. So I have some people like, oh, you're not South Troy. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Dude, you're like deep. You're 20... deep Troy, man. Yeah. You're the end. Like you are what is like the very end of Troy to me. Like that is like, that's where Troy.
Yeah. Like you said, you were Hill Street, dude. So I knew some dudes down there, Little Italy and stuff. Like,
oh, absolutely, dude.
I'm like, when we cross that bridge, dude, what's that sign say?
South Troy, motherfucker. And but here's the thing: I consider
like
myself,
and you're right there.
I consider myself a city boy.
Oh yeah,
because technically, Hill Street is technically part of the city of Troy. Because technically, Little Italy was part of the city. And then you don't cross into South Troy till you cross over the canal.
Right.
But I went to school in South Troy. I hung out. Like you know, that's my neighborhood, man.
That was I'd hop on my bike, my skateboard. That's where I was. 24/7.
Yeah. South Troy against the world, motherfucker. Always.
Without a doubt. Yeah. So that, you know, long story short, I tend to do that. I'm a yoga teacher. I talk. But yeah, man, like that did it. You know, the upbringing was it was rocky when my dad actually did decide to show up every once in a blue moon, you know, fights in the house, craziness. Then, you know, how do you become a man without that male figure really there? You know,
right. So you got to build that kind of idea. Yep. Of what what the man is or what you want to be on your own, which, you know, at a young age, that can be kind of tough to do.
Sure. And then, enter our scene that we're in.
Yeah.
And then that was like a feast or famine.
That was like a home though. Like it's funny as we're talking, as you're telling the story of the bar the other night, and like the guy, it's like the whole theme to this really is connection, because that's what this, like, I didn't know it at the time, but at I can look back on it now, and that scene, what it was to me was connection. Like, nobody gave a shit what color you were. Nobody cared what you voted for or any of that bullshit, man. It was like they were like, we were all there for the music. Somebody fell down, we got your back. Like, that was it.
Yeah, man.
That was it.
Yeah. Without a doubt. And I'm not even now I'm connecting to that. You're just saying,
right,
you know what I mean? But you're right. You know what I mean? And you meet so many people, and there's the tough guy thing, and there's this and that, but it was a spot for you to let it out and meet other people that were like that.
Right.
Like, everybody's got that story, right? We all got a bag of rocks to carry around,
Yep.
Well, it's crazy because we're all connected together because of this scene, because we all know each other because of this scene, because we're really about 2 degrees separated in reality, because there's so many correlations from your family and people that I grew up with and where you grew up and everything, man. So it's awesome to meet you like this.
Yeah.
So can you share with everybody about your classes, where we can find you, like what you're up to, what you're doing yoga wise, and how we can get involved, man? Because I'd actually be really interested in a yoga class.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. Well, I got something awesome that's in the works. But I teach at so I'm in Niskayuna. I'm like in that spot in Niskayuna where a few houses down is Schenectady, a few houses up the other way is Rexford. Right. So I'm right in that little hub of everything. So my where I've been teaching the longest, I teach at 2 spots. Studio 4 in Schenectady, Lafayette Street, like right downtown Schenectady. So I've been there for a couple of years, teaching there for a couple of years. I've been practicing there for a few. Saturdays, 4 p.m. I do like it's hot yoga, right? So I do a hot yoga class. I love hot yoga because you're just going to sweat your ass off. It's just another wrinkle. You know what I mean? Like, wow, this is even harder. Even if you're doing some basic, you're just standing there, you're sweating. You know what I mean? It's 95 easily in there. I love it. So that's my Saturdays at 4 o'clock. And I also do Wednesday mornings at 6 a.m. there. So that's my regular 2 classes there. I also teach Mondays 6:30 in the morning at Jai Yoga School over in Slingerlands. So, and that's a more that's not a hot yoga studio.
Is that Slingerlands? Is that in like one of those plaza areas off of 85?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So they've been there for a few years. God, if they listen to, I don't know exactly how long they've been there, but I actually started they used to be on Madison Ave. Is that class suitable for beginners? That class? All of them are. I'm going to tell you all of them are, but yeah, it's not hot. So yes, if you're beginning and you don't want to have to deal with sweat just pouring in your face right off the bat, without a doubt. I would love the hot yoga if I knew what I was doing, but I'm really like, I've noticed I'm just way out, man. I can't stretch that far. And that's the beautiful thing, man, about it. Like, we don't have to do all that stuff. Like, we can offer, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to get into a really deep stretch or some crazy, balancing, pose and that you got to hold, but there's levels, right? And you can just stay in yours. And yoga teachers are always going to offer that. Like, we can go to this full expression of this deep, pose. It's hard. It's tough. It requires a lot, but you don't just get there day one. You know what I mean? I use the martial arts reference a ton. You know what I mean? Like, you don't walk into the studio, a martial arts school right off the bat and doing black belt shit. It's not happening. You know what I mean? So you start, the yoga teachers, we meet you where you're at, you know what I mean? And it's hard for a lot of men. And this is what I do all the time. Yesterday in my class, I had, 8 people. It was great for a Saturday afternoon. It was beautiful in a hot class, but 4 were dudes and 4 were women. I loved it. And it's like, guys, get out of your head. You don't have to be doing what I'm doing or this guy next to you is doing. Like, we're all doing kind of sort of the same thing, but you just go where you can go with it. So with that said, in the class over at Jai, I love it. It's great. It's a lot of the same people, a lot really cool people. They get along well. So like, if you wanted to come there, that would be a great spot. And I don't crush anybody in the mornings, which I love to do. But
that sounds like a hell of a way to start the week, though, man. A Monday morning at 6:30, dude. That's a way to get fired up for the week. Holy shit.
Man, we get grounded. All my classes, you know what I mean? I love, and it's yoga in general, but the connection to the breath and the movement. So I'm always starting, we're grounding, we're probably laying on the floor or in like a child's pose or something and breathing and just start, cycles of breath. You start watching them, you start connecting, you start slowly closing everything out. And then the movements are inhale this, exhale that, inhale this, exhale. So there's no way you're not getting in that zone, and you slowly start doing harder shit, harder stuff, deeper, you know what I mean? And then you climb the mountain and then you come right back down and then you're chill. Always a good playlist, man. Like, people
dude, I can imagine.
There's not spa music going on, dude.
I didn't think I was going to ask you.
No.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, is this like a Monday morning metal militia kind of thing?
Oh, dude, like,
dude, I got it. Oh shit.
It is so.
If I can hydrate tonight, you might see me tomorrow morning.
Yeah, man. So like, I'll just go to the morning playlist that I just made recently, that we were doing, All Them Witches,
oh yeah, dude. Yes.
A Perfect Circle.
Nice.
I got Foo Fighters, Guns N' Roses, this band Royal Thunder. I absolutely love, man.
Yes, we love them too.
I got like a Seether song on there, a Foo Fighters song. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, that's killer, dude.
I'm doing,
because I was going to ask you if you were going to
not dug into my page a lot.
No, dude, so, I'd be honest with you. I did not. And I apologize. Dude. It's just, we have so much stuff and I'll be honest with you, dude. I do this all day long.
Yeah.
Like, I work with individuals. So like I get home and some days I'm just like fucking tapped out.
Yeah, dude.
That's why I need to tap into something else too. So the yoga thing would be really cool.
I did a bunch, and I don't know if I can show you quick, but I've done 3.
Oh, dude, that kicks ass.
So
man.
I've done these metal yoga
awesome.
classes.
Oh yes.
How do they turn out, Mark?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, look at it. It's all
dude, that is crazy.
Dude, this was
that is awesome.
This was all emo metal class.
Yes.
Great idea.
I did I just did a straight one on Halloween, or the Friday before this past Halloween.
Yeah.
I did.
I was going to say, hold on, you have kids. How do you get away with doing something on Halloween when you have kids?
So, it was the Friday before, right? So Halloween wound up being a couple days later.
Okay.
So
all right. Just checking.
And it worked out. So like we all do. So, and I always have the kids on Fridays too, but I would do these. I do all my special classes on a Friday. And our Taekwondo school has like a Nerf night where the kids just go Nerf wars and, playing all that kind of stuff all night. So on those nights, I go to the studio and teach like an oddball class. So I did just regular, it was a Halloween one. It was just straight up metal. You know what I mean? I mean, like metal you can flow and move to, like From Whom the Bell Tolls I had on there. You know what I mean? Tool, Stinkfist, like that kind of stuff was in there that you know what I mean? Singing, melody, you can feel it, and like tailoring the class to the music. It was like amazing. Like what? So I did that. One at the beginning of that class was amazing. So that was the first time I had a class. The first one I did, man, it was like 40 people, mat to mat. It was great. Like sweat running down the mirrors of the wall, like just so hot. But like you start in your grounding phase, everyone's laying down.
Wow, dude, it sounds like a show.
Dude, it was amazing, dude, because it was like there was like this breath worker, right? It's called like breath of fire. You're like breathing fast, like you're like holy shit, what's going on? So I had that going, and everyone breathing, like you breathe fast, the one I was doing, and then you got to hold your breath. And then you got to breathe fast, hold your breath. And don't I start with like, we're going for a few rounds, and music starts and it's cranking. It's the Michael Myers track. And then it was just, people were dying laughing, you know what I mean? So it was super cool. But yeah, I did that. Then I did a hair metal one, all 80s, 90s hair metal. And then I did an emo one, an emo night, because that was right around what's the holiday that sucks? Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was like, you know,
spoken for every man and everywhere. Thank you.
Dude. And no one was getting it, but I threw in, you guys will probably get it. I was calling a bunch of love songs for the Unloved playlist, the old Sheer Terror.
Yes.
Yeah, and people were like, what? And I'm like, dude, Paul Bearer
Good
stuff,
album.
come on.
Yes, good album, man.
Yeah, so I did a bunch of those, dude. Yep, I did that. I love it. Before I forget, I don't have the date set yet, but it's going to be at Studio 4. And something I've been having worked forever, and something I always wanted to do, but I'm doing a men's yoga series. And it's going to be like 4 weeks, like an hour and 15 minutes, 75 minutes is kind of how we do it. Probably not going to be in the hot studio. Might be, and there's another one in there, another room that's regular warm for people that want to do it. But
where's this one?
It's a place in Schenectady.
Okay.
Studio 4, a hot yoga spot, or hot.
Make sure you
Pilates.
Make sure you let us know about it. We'll definitely hype it up.
I will. I've been putting it all together, and just the owner the other day was like, just give me the dates, dude, and we're putting together promos and getting it going. But it'll be for like beginners, intermediate, a little more advanced, but basically, it's going to be a yoga and mobility, because that's my big thing too. Like I do mobility workshops. I got some certifications in mobility and just, you know what I mean? Joints.
Hey Mark, I got a request as a dad. What about dads and daughters, moms and sons, or even like the combination of?
Yeah, that would be great. I personally haven't done that, but people haven't. I've gone with like my daughter. One of the girls at my studio does it. At Studio 4 does it with the kids. I honestly, I've thought about those things, and then I'm like, I doubt myself. You know what I mean? Am I good for that? It's hard for me not to swear, dude. It's hard for me not to.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't know if people are cool with that. You know,
right?
What I mean?
I got it. It takes a certain teacher to be able to do that.
And my music,
right.
Dude, I can't. I don't even know how.
Dude, we need to teach some of these kids. We need to teach some of these kids about music.
Dude, without a doubt, and they need to hear F-bombs, and they need to hear.
Yeah, they do. They do sometimes.
They need to know that is just getting your point across. It's not being rude. It's not, you know what I mean? But yeah, dude, that's going to be a yoga, a mobility, breath work, and a meditation, like 101 kind of thing. So just touching on everything, you know what I mean? It could be for the average Joe to an athlete, you know what I mean? Someone in sports, a lot, CrossFit, bodybuilder, just working on things that are going to make our joints feel better, right? Shoulders, knees, hips, ankles, back feel better. Yeah, without a doubt. Balance, like getting better balance. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, this stuff helps me mowing the lawn, shoveling the snow. And it sounds cliche that people say that, but it does, man. Like, you're in those weird positions, and like a lot of the stuff that my classes are always pretty much a yoga and mobility fusion of the two. So yeah, dude, that's coming together. I'm pumped about it. I've mentioned it to a few people already that are pretty pumped about it. So it'll be cool. So dudes, and my hope is that we start to talk more about stuff. Like, I'm going to talk about stuff. Hopefully I'm going to drag some shit out of some other dudes for them to talk about.
That's how it works, man. That's exactly what we do. That's what we've done, and I can speak for myself, it's hard for me to like kind of, dig down deep and get vulnerable at times, but like, going through and like talking to you and
Yeah.
hearing Will and just getting different guests and hearing them do it, it inspires me to do it. And
Yeah.
it's also like, it's a part of it because you open up other people. And then at the same time, like your story could help somebody that you don't even know. So
yeah, totally, dude. And like a few different times for years, I was going to do this, yoga teacher training. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Like, I just like doing my thing. I never wanted to be preaching to people. Never thought anybody wanted to listen, and it's just really been the last couple years that through yoga teachers supporting me and stuff like that, like has helped a ton. My yoga teacher that I did my training with and at Studio 4 is where I did my yoga teacher training. She said it to me from the get-go, like, dude, like you can be way up here, you know what I mean? Just share your story. Like, you don't have to be this guru, like share your story. You know what I mean? Like it'll help people, like you talking, you work through a lot. She knows my background. Like you work through it, and this is what, you know what I mean? There's plenty of gurus. This is how it starts.
There's plenty of those gurus already out there. You know what I mean? We don't need another one. We need the original, you know what I mean? We need somebody that's themselves. We need the real deal. And that's why I think that the whole, you playing the music and doing those different nights, it's because I think a lot of us, are maybe intimidated a bit, because like you said, like
it's the whole reason I want to do this men's thing. Yeah.
I can't stretch like this. I can't do this. But you know what? It's like, but if you go out and you play basketball or you go out and you start weightlifting, you're not going to just be, you know what I mean? It's like kids these days, like they try something once, like, oh, I can't be like Michael Jordan. Yeah, no shit. Because the dude spent 20 years of his life, like doing this, like eating, sleeping. That's what they do.
He spent 9 hours a day in the gym throwing free throws.
That's what I mean.
Exactly. It takes deep work for people to see. That's the thing about, like, we're in this expert age, which is why this is why I'm going back to school for social work, because like, to me, that's where I can make the biggest difference. Cause that to me is where the difference is made on the street.
Yeah. 100%.
In that, like, connecting people to things that can literally help them and and at least, look, you may not utilize the service, but that doesn't mean you're not worthy of being asked if you want the service, regardless of whether you say you want it or not, over and over again.
Right.
Just like people, that's why you present it to them. Here it is. It's always going to be here. You don't have to take it now, but when it's here, it's ready. And that's kind of how people, I think, a lot of times find recovery and all these things that we have names for.
Take what you get from it, right? You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is you're going to do, there's what you were just saying reminded me of like that. It's like a Bruce Lee quote was like, it's like, absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and add what is uniquely yours. Right. So like,
that's right.
Just try the shit out. No, you're not going to be a master. You're not. I'm not. I've been doing it for a long time. I'm not. You're never going to be. It's like,
no, there's no mass,
not perfection. You know what I mean? Like, you just want to do that. So like,
we're not happy with just learning. And I wasn't when I was young. Like, I had to, like, it took me, I finally, and Timmy knows this because Timmy's been on this journey with me since the beginning. Because since like we started doing this in 2019, like a lot of things have changed for both of us in a lot of different ways. And it's amazing what you learn about yourself. But you never really learn because you're always learning. But I didn't have that mentality for so long. I had closed myself off. I was angry. Like, I found myself again in my 40s, like I felt in my 20s.
Yeah.
Like, I was mad. I was mad at myself. I was mad at myself for a lot of decisions. And it's like you find, and then it grinds on you after a while.
Yeah, totally.
Of course, like, and we talk about this a lot because we've, and Timmy and I both shared our stories. And like, when you get to the point of putting a plan together to end your life, you kind of look at things a lot differently. But it takes years for you sometimes to come out of that room again, or look in that room again. Cause I always talk about the room. Like the room for me is a very comforting spot. Like it's a very nice, comforting room. It's got great music, great lighting. It's nice, the temperature. But once I get in there, it sucks me in and it turns the lights off and it becomes house of horrors kind of. So
man.
Trying to keep yourself out of that. Timmy, it's been awesome to have Marc here. We got to kind of roll this up and get the yoga mat rolled up and head on out of here, man.
Nice.
So why don't we take it home and we'll wrap it up at the end. Marc can tell you where he's at this week and over the next couple of weeks, and we'll make sure we get all the links up in the show notes when this episode goes live in a few weeks.
Sweet.
Definitely. I'm gonna ask a different question actually, just because we were kind of talking about music. So, Marc, what have you been listening to lately, or is there something that you always kind of fall back on that can bring you, that's always there for you? You know what I mean? Like that concrete band or song or whatever it is.
Yeah. So I'm a big, like we talked about a little bit before the one time, like I really love hip hop too. And every, rock, metal, European metal, hardcore, like all the kind of stuff. So, I really gravitate towards emotional stuff. Lately, I haven't been able to get away from, some hardcore stuff. Like this week, it's been E-Town Concrete. I've really been into that. But I like a lot of that stoner rock too. So some of that, All Them Witches, Royal Thunder. Have you guys heard Royal Thunder? You know them?
Definitely. Female singer.
Yeah, dude. Timmy actually turned me on to them because
she plays bass too, I believe. Right? Yeah.
Dude, like those songs.
Oh, dude, like the new Queens of Stone Age are torn. I just saw.
Yep. So any of that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like.
That's awesome.
Some of it's like tear jerkers for me, man. You know what I mean? You start thinking of some stuff, you listen to those lyrics. I mean, Tool, I'm always there. Perfect Circle, Maynard, I'm into that kind of stuff. Like any of that.
Awesome.
I mean, I like all kinds of music and it depends on my mood, what I'm going to be into. The last couple of months have been last month especially, like, have been tough. We had to put down my dog for like 13 years. So that was tough. So I've been like grinding things out. And that's why, like emotional.
You sound
hard.
Like you sound like me. I'm an emotional listener too, because I'm a singer and a lyricist. So it's like,
gotcha.
You kind of like, that's kind of what you gravitate towards when you,
dude,
we kind of changed all of this up this morning because this is really cool. So because I changed this question quite a while ago.
Yeah.
I kind of leave it to improvisation because you never know what's going to come up. But playing off of Timmy's, we always have the musical bend on this because we're just so connected through all of those things. Awesome. I have to ask you, dude, what was your first show? Do you remember what your first show was?
In general.
Well, so we'll look at it two ways because we kind of come from those days of those old shows, man. South Troy Community Center. So we'll go your first show as a kid to friends, bands or whatever, but your first major show also.
Yeah. So my first show would have been, and I don't remember exactly who of everybody was there, but it was a flat broke one down in South Troy Community Center. You know what I mean? Forever ago.
And can you tell the connection to Flat Broke for you?
Don Demer is my cousin. So my father and Don's mother are brother and sister.
All right.
Yeah. So
Don is a great tattoo artist, man. I have some. He actually did the old guitarist on the back of my left arm here.
Nice. He's done like a
number of years ago. Oh, he's an amazing artist, dude. He's an amazing artist.
And an awesome dude. Yep. So so that there, and then my first concert, I'll never forget, it was Def Leppard at SPAC. Dude, I was in like 6th grade.
Wow.
Went with my buddy's parents who were rock and rollers, you know what I mean? Cool people. Just brought him and I, and we were on the lawn, man, and it was just like it was wild. To me, I was like, holy, people are throwing around rolls of toilet paper, marshmallows, you know what I mean? Just all craziness going on. And me and him were just like sitting on a blanket, like, what the hell is going on here? 6th grade. You know, his parents are drinking, burning it down.
Biggest contact high in the world.
Oh, so good.
Dude, so my first show was Priest and Great White in Glens Falls in 1984, nice. Dude.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my buddy's dad brought us.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just because he was a rock and roll guy.
Yep.
So, and I just remember, and I could never figure out why I had these amazing feelings when I was at concerts when I was so young. But then it finally dawned on me now that I'm 51 and I say that I have quite the experience now with certain herbs that that I realized what that was back then.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was funny. It took me years and years and years forever too. So when, you know, every once in a blue moon, like I said, I'd be around my father and we would go to like his house and his buddies be there, you know, watching football or just, you know, barbecue outside and those smells, you know what I mean? And then it's like, once you get a little bit older, it's like, oh, that's what that was.
We're trying to keep that shit away.
That's why it was a good time. Well, everybody was always laughing and giggling and having fun, you know? It wasn't just the beers.
No, actually the beers make it worse.
Right, totally.
That's the thing. Doubt. And that's the thing about that.
Yep.
Go ahead, Timmy, bring it on home, buddy.
So Mark, if there was something that you would like to see done or one thing that you could do for mental health as a whole without any kind of restraint, what would it be?
For myself or for just in general, like
in general, yeah,
service like to society.
Yep.
I mean, you know, being a yoga teacher is about being service, right? So what do we have if we're not doing something for people? You know, my thing from the get-go and what really got me into deciding I wanted to get certified and be a yoga teacher, and when I'm, you know, falling more and more in love with all the time, you know, is, you know, helping people in general. You know, it doesn't just be just men, but I wanted to get more men into this practice. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be going to yoga classes. You don't have to be doing any of that yoga poses and flows and things like that. It just could be the mindful part of it. You know what I mean? Being able to, you know, catch yourself, like, here I go again, reel it back in. Like, you know, I'll talk a lot about, like, you know, the leashes with the dogs, you know what I mean? That to pull a trigger and dog gets far away and then you bring it back in, right? So like with your mind, when you start to get crazy, you know, you're pulling it back in. Okay, now I'm realizing I'm building this crazy story in my head, making up, this could happen, that can happen, this can happen, this can happen. There I go again. Reel it in, you know, even like fishing, bring it back in. So that's huge for me, you know. And I men, women, whatever, whoever I can help, if it's little things that I say, little experiences that I share that help somebody else, without a doubt, man, like that's what I want. I'm like, my background, like my career, I've been in construction forever. The place I work at, I've been there 23 years. I'm a construction manager. I do that. I've been doing Taekwondo for years. I'm going for my, you know, 2nd degree black belt in November. Like, I'm a dude. I'm a dude. You know what I mean? Like, I do that. I'm blue collar, you know what I mean? Whatever. I don't want to get into the, you know what I mean, the cliche stuff, but you know what I mean? A lot of people are like, oh, do you teach yoga? Like, I get it all the time on the construction sites. You know what I mean? People like, other dudes will just be like, oh, this dude, you know, he's a yoga teacher. You know what I mean? And it's getting better now. People are like, oh, that's cool. I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. Well, you can. There's no wishing. There's no like,
awesome.
Like, you're not going to be that. You're not going to walk into it being a black belt. No, just like anything. Like, I'm not going to be as good as you guys are at talking about this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'd have to work at that, you know, little stones, build that mountain.
That's right, man. And everybody has it, and everybody has their piece, and everybody has their place, man. That's why.
That's it.
And that's the cool thing about like this, because this can all help the other and spiral out. And that's the beauty of it, man. Yeah. Dude, it's been awesome meeting you. Thank you so much for doing this, man, and sharing the story, dude. because it's
Mark,
awesome to make the world.
It's
It's awesome to make Smallbany just a little bit smaller.
yeah.
Because I will tell you, like I've had some really cool experiences. Timmy and I've had some really cool experiences over the last like 4 years of doing this.
Yeah.
And I've had some really cool experiences with what I'm doing now and just the crossover stuff. But the more you go out into the community, and I'm sure you see this with your classes, the more you realize you're going to see the same people over and over again, because it's a lot smaller of a community than we think it is. So
without a doubt. Yeah, totally, man. Like, even like you say that real quick, like the dude, that Jai Yoga School, the owners, Dustin Horan, who's he owns Tattoo or Dead Presidents Tattoo.
Oh
Lounge.
Yeah, I was wondering because the name sounded familiar.
Yeah,
okay.
Him and his wife own that. You know what I mean? And he was hardcore, all that kind of stuff too. So it's just, you know what I mean? It comes around. Oh, quick! I think I saw you guys. I don't know, but you guys know, like, I believe Tim. I don't know if we talked about. I don't know, whatever. But that Raghunath Yogi from Ray Capo.
Yeah.
So like that's one, and I had found his classes online.
I saw you. I saw that
right years ago, and that to me was just like, all right, hardcore dudes. There's other ones that are into this.
Right. Well, that's I was gonna say to you. It helps to spread it when it's cool people spreading it.
Right. Yeah.
But I think
totally. So those little things, and then his stuff, got me into, and through him, like, because then he had a place like in Chatham, a little studio there. So I went down to that, and then he actually told me about Jai, and then and then I was like, oh shit. Then I connected, and I saw that the connection between the Dead Presidents Lounge and Jai, and you know what I mean. Like I'm like, okay, there's other cool people that are doing this same idea. It's not just what you see in the mainstream of this kind of stuff.
That's exactly why I said we already have those gurus. We need more like you. You know what I mean? We need guys that are individuals that are gonna stand out and go, you know what? This isn't for everybody, but come try it once. Like you're not going to be a master at it. No one's going to
without
be,
a doubt,
telling you have to do this pose or you got to leave. No, man, you just come, and it's you come for the vibes and learn about breath work. And then maybe you can stay and learn some of these poses and start to kind of get more movement out of yourself. And then you're going to go, holy shit, like, look at the benefits that this has,
Right. And whatever benefit it is. Mentally, physically,
right? There's multiple.
I'm balancing better. I feel better standing up, or I feel better sitting in my chair.
Or it could be just, hey, you know what? I hung out with like 8 other people that were super cool, and I made a couple new friends today, new connections.
Without a doubt, like, dude, I made so many connections through yoga and even like social media from this kind of stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That it's like awesome. You start seeing more and more people that are like you. I did this a mentorship yoga program recently with this dude, Justin Riley, is a tattooed yogi, is his yoga page, dude out of New Jersey. It's just like me. You know what I mean? Same type, just like all of us, I should say. That same hardcore background tattooed dude. He's just been doing it for a very long time, knows his shit. You know what I mean? And it's just that instant connection that we had, like drove down there to be with him. And that helped me a ton too. That was only a few months ago. That's shaped me and my practice and my teaching a bunch there. And it's like a big part of it is just finding more people like yourself, man. And to have a lot of the same experiences in life.
It's about the support, like you can do it. You know what I mean? You may doubt yourself, but you go and you hang out with some people and they're like, you know what, you got to do it. And then you just kind of click one day and you're going to do it. Like you already have it, you already have the fire. You just need the spark. Yeah.
And it just makes you feel better. Like, right. Just coming across you guys, you know what I mean? I just felt so much better about it. Like, oh shit, these guys are doing this. This is awesome, dude. And
that's what it's about, man.
Tell people about it. You know what I mean? And we're not going to be masters of our craft in a day or years even, you know what I mean? It takes forever, but just the little things, like you said. So anything for mental health is just that I would want is just to help more people just be like chill and cool and bring it in and not build crazy made up stories in your head. And you know what I mean? Work out, talk about it.
Reel it in.
That's it, man.
That's it, man.
Bring it back. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mark, thanks again, man.
Sweet. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Mark.
Totally.
Will.
Wow, Timmy.
Amazing.
Dropping knowledge, dropping the metal. Dude,
Dropping the meta.
I'm gonna say this. I'm actually gonna get on my phone. I'm setting the reminders. I'm gonna show up at Mark's class tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I want to get to. I am always on to work early.
Let's go.
Oh fuck! No, I can't tomorrow. Shit. I can't. I don't.
We will soon. We will.
Wait,
soon.
no,
We will soon.
that's not true. That's not true because I could always take a
Hey,
car.
I ain't going anywhere.
I know you're not. I'm
I mean,
supposed to be in.
in
I have an appointment. I have an appointment in
I
Schenectady. I have an appointment in Schenectady tomorrow morning at 8:45. That's why. So
yeah,
I'm
so
trying to figure out.
6:30 to 7:30 is the class.
Okay.
It's 1 hour.
I'm wondering if I could just go to work and grab a car then. All right. If not this week, next week for sure.
Yeah, sweet. Let's do it.
Until
Timmy.
next week, Will.
Get well.
Be safe.
Stay
above.
Hey, thank you for listening to episode 214 of Above Ground Podcast with our guest, Marc Salvi. I just wanted to check in with everyone as this has been a busy couple of weeks and there's been a lot of stuff going on for Above Ground Podcast. This past Sunday, we were at Upstate Punk Rock Flea Market. Just a huge shout out to Mike Langone and Empire Live and their staff and everybody that has been involved with Upstate Punk Rock Flea Market since the beginning. Thank you very much. We had a great day. Summertime, you never know what you're going to expect in Albany when there's so much going on in the summer. Here, everywhere in Nippertown. And speaking of Nippertown, Nipperfest next Saturday, July 22nd at the Central Park Music Haven in Central Park, Schenectady. I believe the address is 500 Iroquois Way, I believe, if that's correct. But Central Park, Schenectady, next Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. next week. So come to Nipperfest. That's right. Check out all kinds of live music. Stop and see us. And, always get your picture taken with Nipper, all right? Just a huge shout out to Marc Salvi. I signed up for his men's class, and we just finished up last night, week number 2. I tried yoga once in the house, trying to find some videos, and it's a little different and very hard on the body. But what an incredible class, man. What a cool guy. What an awesome interview, man. We're so happy that we get to talk to people like this, and these people are in your community. Connect with them. Get your self-care in order. Check out your 8 dimensions of wellness and see where you're at on all 8, and then make those changes. Until next week, thank you so much. Make sure you come and see us at Nipperfest, and keep checking in every Wednesday. All right? Stay above.
Thank you for giving us a listen. New episodes every Wednesday. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, you can share, rate, review, and even subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Other ways to support the show: follow us on social media, share the content, share our episodes. You can also buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/abovegroundpod. For further concerns, show ideas, or just to say hi, you can email us at abovegroundpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, thank you for listening and supporting mental health. Keep the conversation going and stay above.